there, today I'm back out here in the veggie garden doing a little bit more prep for winter and next spring, getting everything kind of put to bed for the winter, which for me means topping off the soil, adding compost, and adding mulch. It's really chilly out here, so I'm hoping the more I work, the more I'll heat up a little bit, otherwise I won't be out here long. My first step is to get a long-handled rake because I've already added soil, and if you can see, it's kind of in clumps right now. I want to get that smoothed out, then rake in some compost. So let me grab that rake and we'll get started. And before I really get started, I'm going to take out these metal supports here. I'll put them back in when I'm done, but for now, I just want the whole space to work in. The sun is out nice and bright today, so that helps like a lot. This is soil that I repurposed from some grow bags that previously were along here. I'm kind of phasing out of using grow bags for a couple of reasons. Not that they didn't serve me well for a number of years, because they sure did. But I'm going in a little bit of a different direction. The wind is really strong today. I'm hoping that it's not too distracting. This chunk right here is so compacted. Compacted. Maybe not. I'm still seeing active worms, and I feel bad chunking the soil all around with them in there, because I don't want to damage them. So I'm gonna maybe be a little more gentle. It wouldn't feel very good to get hacked into pieces with a rake while you're just living your life. I might time lapse a little bit of this if I'm not doing too much talking, so it's not quite as boring for you if you're just watching. I know that this soil is really weedy too, but deal with that in the spring. So I'm trying to decide if I should add a little bit more soil into here. I think that I probably will. I need to see if I have any soil over here, and I don't. So I'm gonna have to grab the cart, go over to the other side of the house where we have our pallet of soil, and I'll be back. Whew. All right, I've got brought over a couple bags of compost, several bags of soil, and this is for 2 beds that I'm going to be working on today. This big one here, and then the one, may not be able to see it yet, but I'll point you in a different direction here in a moment. The other one's over there. And of course, I did not bring scissors out. It's okay. What I'm adding in right now is just garden soil. So nothing fancy. It's hard to gauge how many bags I'll need. Maybe 3? At least 3, maybe 4. Maybe I should rake them in as I go. That way I'll know when to stop. I'm making sure to leave room for compost too. And a layer of mulch. Not too hard to rip open. There we go. And as I've mentioned in my last couple of videos, kind of documenting these cleanup efforts or refurbishing or whatever you want to call it, this is the most attention these beds have seen this year. Like what the efforts I've been doing this year, like the most attention these beds have seen in many years. So next spring, they ought to be all set, really good to go. One more bag of soil to finish this bed off. That wind is kind of brutal today. I feel like I'm underdressed. I probably should have a jacket on, but let's keep going. All right. Just doing a little cleanup as I go here. So now I'm gonna add the compost in and rake it in. And I brought 2 bags over here with me, which should be enough. This is just garden compost and the brand is Golden Trophy. And I also ordered in some mushroom compost this year. And the mushroom compost is quite a bit pricier than the regular compost, so I didn't get as many bags of that. I think I got enough to do 1 bag per raised bed, and there's 6 beds. There used to be 7 until we dismantled this one that was right here. It was falling apart. After 11 years service, it was time to let it go. So I'm adding the regular compost and then I'll do the 1 bag of mushroom compost in each bed. I hope I'm getting it mixed in well enough. I think it'll be okay though. Good enough is good enough sometimes. Kind of thinking I may not get to the mulch today, but that's okay. We'll do it later this week. All right, looking good. All right, I'm gonna grab a bag of the mushroom compost. And maybe it's overkill to put this much compost in. And it turns out I have enough bags of the mushroom compost to do 2 bags in this 12-foot bed, the other bag over there. Be back. Getting filthy. It's okay. One thing's for sure, planting in this soil next spring, I think, is going to be delightful. For sure. I can't wait already. I always like a rest from the garden over the winter, but I'm kind of looking forward to planting in this garden come spring. All right, this one's done. I'm gonna clean up a little bit and I'll meet you over here at the very last bed we have to do. Okay, so this is the last bed I have to do. You can see we have a big trellis here, and what we have in this bed are hops plants, so those are perennial. They come back, of course, every year. And for now, I'm gonna keep it that way, although I may phase those out in the next year or so, because we're not really using the hops like we used to. So it kind of takes up valuable space, although they are really pretty when the whole thing is full of the vines and the leaves, and it is really pretty. So at least there's that. And I added some soil to this bed over the weekend, I guess it was, and just soil from the grow bags that I was taken apart, and I'm gonna kind of spread it out, kind of like what I did in that other bed we just saw. It's hard to work in this bed because these hops vines are tenacious. I did cut a lot of them, like at the soil level, and try to get them out from under here where I'm wanting to work. But I guess I didn't do it enough. I only have one extra bag of soil to work with. So I may have to go grab another bag of soil or two. We'll see. Yeah, this soil that was in the grow bag seems really compacted. Wondering if I should have kept using it, but like we saw, it does have a lot of worms in it, so they'll help with that as time goes on. And I have in years past tried to contain the hops to this half of the trellis and use this other half for cucumbers, melons, things like that, but it hasn't really worked out that well. The hops are a bully for sure. They take over, kind of dominate the whole bed. So that's another reason to consider maybe getting them out of here. Okay, so I just added my 1 bag of soil that I had available at the moment. Let's see if we can make it work. And I've got some like knick-knacky things in this bed too that I should have pulled out. It would have made it a lot easier to work around. That's fine. I'm trying to just go fast today because it's cold. I'm kind of thinking that there's enough soil in here, and I'm just going to go ahead and start getting the compost added in. And I'm doing 2 bags of the regular compost, 1 bag of mushroom. And the hops plants were actually a gift from our real estate agent when we bought this house almost 14 years ago. I know we just got to chatting or whatever, and it came up in the course of conversation that my Hubs is a home brewer, off and on, not serious. And our real estate agent had, or maybe still has, I don't know, a side business growing hops to sell to the local microbreweries. At least that's how I remember the story. Anyway, they were a gift from him. So I don't think we'll ever get rid of all of them. Always keep a few vines just for nostalgia. And like I mentioned, they do look really pretty. So we're on the home stretch, at least for today. Get this mushroom compost raked in, and then I'm gonna call it quits. I think I'll come out later this week, like I mentioned, and I'll have 4 beds to top off with mulch, and that'll be it for the winter. There, I think that's perfect. I'm gonna put my stuff away and I'll catch back up with you to sign off. So that's it for today. Thanks so much for hanging out with me. Oh yeah, and hops have this sticky kind of residue on the vines, and it does irritate my skin. If it touches my skin, I don't wash it off right away. So just a heads up if you're thinking about getting hops plants. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me today while I finish cleaning up my garden and getting it ready for the winter and for next spring. Let me know what you're working on in your garden as we're really heading into fall. Anyhow, thanks so much again for watching, and I'll catch you next time. Until then, just keep planting.